Okay, I'm just making the agenda for today. We could have we have a I don't know what to call it. I'll just say why no rholang output for now. And we go to channel.
Share your screen, Jim.
Oh. Why I thought I was sharing the screen. So in the test proof Chen 1, okay, well, none of these examples did you get any output.
Right.
And but this contract has output.
Hey, Audie.
Hey, Gary. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Audie. Hey, I want to talk about some general CoLab functions. We put on the agenda here the CoLab expenses. And this includes stuff managing the CoLab, and you've been in I guess we could just put them as scribes for now. Okay. Of course, we have scribes, we have guides. But we can return to that later. Who else do we have? Janama, welcome. And we have Owens. Welcome, greetings.
Hi, Owen.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Gary.
Chidinma.
Chidindu. Yeah. You have a topic, speak up. Write it in the log or write it in the chat. We're flexible here. Gary and I were just getting started on why no rholang output. And we both have these contracts that don't have any output. And we don't really have any experts on. We'll just look quickly at it and we'll come back to it if more rholang people come on. But this is a simple hello world. And it comes back and it says hello world. But we get no output from this one. Standard out, bang, hello world.
Jim, why don't you see if the minimal hello world is still working? I'm not sure it's still working.
This is the minimal hello world.
Okay, you just ran that. Okay, I was thinking that was old. All right.
Yeah. No, this is the minimal. It just worked.
You want to try? You want to try my other that one up there that does the union? I wasn't getting.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Well, you had new, you didn't have a row :IO: on this one.
Yeah, that.
Oh, this one you did. This is the same contract, isn't it?
No, it's probably changed several times in there. I was trying to get it to work.
Weird.
Let me see if I can find the one that I wanted to try to run.
Yeah, this is the one I was working on. Basically, he was saying that when you do new val, comma, some expression 1 + 1, that it's sending 2 messages, not 1. So I just wanted to test that. And so I did UA. I bind standard out to the log, the standard out. And then I say A, and I write new val and comma 1 + 1. So I send it. This is the same as the contract that was in the rholang. Issue with the rholang processing expressions. It was suggested, I think, by Joshi, that I can't remember now, that this sent that when we had new val, comma 1 + 1, that would be 2 messages, not 1. So then for val read from A, I say we got val, and I try to do a second read to see if it reads this and then it reads this as 2 separate messages or 1 message. Just to find out how rholang worked here. And if I run this, what happens? Okay, there's a lot of stuff in the tuple page. Result for test.val. Evaluate.val. Okay, so I got no output. I can see here in the tuple space that's writing the value high to the high channel. Okay, and yet if I read from the high channel, I can't find it offhand. Eval :, new standard out as backquote row :IO :
Row, not eho.
In and I whoops, it should be right. For message in quote high quote. Now that makes it a name. Do I have that right? I need a parentheses. if we get a message, I want to like the right, just escape it out. Right, the message. But I need @ sign.
Yeah, I believe you need an @ sign.
Star. After. Okay, so we have the this in the Google space. We have HI being written to the high channel. We would expect standard out to get high. Is this right? This is okay now? Okay, and
No, that's, you've got a top hat in there for the message.
I got a top hat, huh? I think that was an asterisk.
Valentine, we can't hear you in case you're trying to talk. Valentine, I think your mic is faulty.
I think that is an asterisk. Whoa, syntax error. What do I do now? I forgot a in parentheses, in brace. Okay, we got the high. I must have typed it wrong. And apparently, I don't know why I didn't get an error the first time. It was clearly an error. I don't know if there's something in the log here. Only the error we got is in the log. And here's our high. Most recent thing in the log. Okay. So, but we're writing to an unforgeable name here, the new Val 2. And what I don't see here is where it's reading that value. Here it has unforgeable 00. It's writing to. Is that standard out? I have a feeling that may be standard out. I don't know.
Jim, it never works for me, but it seems to work for you.
What?
When I try that same thing you just did and got the high back.
Well, there was the high. Somebody put it there. Somebody typed right high to high in the channel.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, up in the channel, somebody wrote the high. So I tried to read the high channel, and it didn't work. I must have had a typo. Because just now I read it successfully, and it's removed. It's removed from the tuple space now. If it were-
Okay, well, that explains to me. I didn't even understand why it was working, but now I understand. Okay, thanks.
Okay, but this doesn't work. Okay, now we can, I mean, I could change this to be standard out. Right. And then in VI, I use the up arrow to go back up to R node eval percent. Percent is replaced by the current file in VI. Okay, so now we still got no output. I don't think. I don't see any output here. Is it would come before the storage contract. Okay, so this gets no output. What happens if we if I do a 4x here, remove that, and then I run it again. I don't understand. We still got no results. It must be something very silly. I'm running the standard out. Just a string. Sending the standard out. Let me undo, capital O, open, and paste in. To CW, change 2 words. Oops, I'm in insert mode. You said I'm getting interpreter errors, huh? I don't see that here. I just see no output. So I mean, maybe on the path of a bug here. I mean, it seems clear that what happened. It looks like it hung.
Oh, yeah.
I had a control C out of it. Looks like I killed our node. Interesting. This contract is an R node killer. But it should at least do the hello world. It's in parallel with the rest of this. Okay. This is very interesting. Looks like we're on the trail of an RChain, of an R node bug. But I won't take up any more time with it in the work study here, unless there's general interest in it. Any questions about it, comments? Something in the chat here? Oh,
Well, the next thing on the agenda was the key value store.
all right. Anyone want to this is
You looking for drivers?
I was looking for where this is in the agenda here. It isn't. Uh, Jason, Philip, Chidima, Adi, comments on what topics should be next? Anything you want to talk about?
Okay. Can we go a little bit off the agenda, or we have to stay with the agenda for today?
We could add
Angie? Hello? Jim?
Yeah, I could hear part of what you were saying. Are you suggesting a topic? Or?
Okay. No, I was asking if the topic has to be with in line with what we have on the agenda, or we could go a little bit off topic, off track.
You're supposed to make the agenda, Val. Okay. You're supposed to put items in here. You know, there were no items. You're supposed to put them in.
Okay. I guess I'll go check out the agenda now.
Yeah, and if you want to, you know, and you don't know, we're asking you, what do you want me to type right now? What do you want to add to this agenda, to the topic?
share the screen, Jim. It might help.
Just tell us what to put on the list.
Yeah, okay, you got the key value store.
Yeah, I have to find the GitHub address for that. Should be in here. I think. Maybe not. Why doesn't my scroll is really screwed up? Yeah, this is garbage stuff. It looks like we didn't put it in the log. So it's got to be in the rholang comp channel. Please help fill out the log. Be useful. Do something. Okay, so rholang. Okay, it should be right around here. I don't believe it. I can't find it. I didn't put it in the description of the video either. I know I recorded it. Whoops, that's way back.
I'm not sure what you're looking for, Jim.
I'm looking for Theo, the contract that Theo went over, the key value store.
Oh, I think that's on GitHub.
Yeah, it's on GitHub. Here they are. It's the forwarder and the car we have. We don't have the key value store.
I think if you go to the forwarder, you can find the key value store.
Key value store.row. Okay, so we just need to go to the code, and we go to patterns, and we have the key value store. There we go. Okay. And we'll just take the whole thing here. And I guess go into KV store.row.
Jim, I'm sorry, I'm not too sure what you're trying to do.
Andrew, this is some code that Theo went over with us last Friday. And
Okay.
it's called a key value store. And
There's a map built into rholang, which is the same as the scala map, which is also a key value store association. Addiction.
Okay.
Okay, and you put a key with the value in the store, and then you can get the value back if you give the key, right?
Yeah.
But this doesn't use the built-in app. Okay, it actually stores the key value store as a program. It's a it's a bunch of processes in parallel that you can match. And it uses this pattern here. We're given the unforgeable deed of a contract, I mean of a key value store. We can get a value at a particular key. Okay, and it gets the store it writes what? It writes to get store. It writes the store to get store. So that it
well, it writes it back, Jim. It gets it and then writes it back.
Okay, right. It gets it and writes it back. And this is the thing where you want the value to be persistent. In other words, if you did a get store, you wouldn't be able to get it the next time because it was already gotten. By putting it back, you can get it. The next guy can get it.
That way you would turn that into a delete if you didn't put it back.
Right. You would delete it.
Which is the next function anyway.
Okay, so then it matches the store. Okay, looking for what? A process with the where the value is written to the key.
Okay, this is the tricky part. Let's go over this real slow. It's matching on a process.
Right. Which has in parallel a bunch of values written to keys. And because of the equal sign here, the key is not a free variable. It's bound to this key that we're trying to get. Okay, and then we have the continuation pattern here, where C is the continuation, and that's what you want to do after you get the key.
Get the key, you send the value.
I'm sorry?
If you get the key, then you send the value back on the continuation.
Right. Thank you, Gary. Wonderful. Okay, so then, each of these processes in parallel are writing a value to a key. We can so we're matching key and the value or anything? I don't get that. The underscore.
We talked about this a little bit, and this is part of what makes this so tricky.
Or anything. Return right to the continuation value, which is what we were to do when we got the key back. And then we match anything. And matches are done in order. So if it didn't match this key value pattern that existed within the store, then it returned, then it wrote to error, key does not exist. Now, I'm not sure writing to the public name makes sense all the time, but that's another issue. But it returns this as a process. It doesn't actually send it. Right. It sends the process. So this is really a value in a key, sort of. But it's not. This one. Well, okay, so so it does the del operation. Which matches everything except the key that we give it. Any questions on that? This matches the process. Oh, with the key, it just, yeah, right, it just matches on the key. And I'm not quite, I still, so if it found the key, okay, it returns the rest. Key in parallel with, that's what I was reading it wrong. I was reading it as or above. Or it's the key in parallel with anything. And that's what we have, these key values all in parallel with each other. That's our storage, stored as a process. Code is data. So we have to delete. We have a test to see if it exists. Very similar. If we find it, we say true. Otherwise, we say false. And we have a query. Now, what's a query? Okay, now for one thing, here he doesn't write it back. All he has is commented out. Yeah, this would delete it because he reads the store and never writes the store back.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he has for export, get export, continue export,
Continue export.
which is what? That's the bungle this. So this is how we get a key value store, right? Use this. Control F export. Okay, so that's a version of this that is bungled so that you get a write-only interface to it. Because if anybody could read it, for one thing, they would be able to delete it just by reading it, which it would not be a good thing. So by passing the exported version of this, you allow people to both read and write to the key value store. And they can delete it too, huh? No, they can delete keys. They can't delete the store. So, you know, it's a way of creating capabilities too. Now, You might wonder why I want to understand this contract is because dictionaries, key value stores, are needed for everything. They're needed for the social ledger. Well, they're needed for identity. We need to be able to look things up. We need to be able to keep them in the dictionary. And this would be one of the most used capabilities that give power to, you know, our applications. It gives us a database. It's a NoSQL database.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
For the BYOID project, this is what we use to make our DID directory, our decentralized identity directory. And here we would put in directory entries corresponding to our persona. And they would expose certain capabilities. Basically, it would tell them what endpoint is used to authenticate us. It could, you know, it would expose certain things about our identity that we wanted to expose. And, you know, the DID standard is extensible in that we can expose anything we want in the DID directory, but it lets me be in control of what code authenticates me and gives information on me, gives me a self-sovereign identity. It becomes my authority. But I was a little fuzzy the first time he went through it, but thanks to Gary's help, I think I get it now. What questions do you have on it? Anybody? Do you want any part of it reviewed again?
Oh.
I should have put this in the log right away. It's in there. No, it's not in there.
Oh.
Sure got the scrolling blues.
Another thing that I guess we could put on the agenda, maybe not for this go around, but for upcoming work study is, are there any projects that we could start thinking about that we might use rholang to develop some of the tools we need for, say, the running of the community, the Discord server, or anything along those lines? I say that because I've started looking for kind of little exercises. I'm not ready to try anything like a true DApp, and so I look around for common programming routines, and I found.
Using programming the bot is perfect. The Discord bot in rholang.
Yeah, but that's a pretty big project.
No, it
I,
isn't.
I was thinking about on a smaller scale, a little smaller, you know,
That's a very small project. Okay, for one thing, we can make a key value store,
yeah.
and we can have experiment with all kinds of patterns that we could have it respond to.
So just continue on working on ways of moving towards having a robot set up so that it can respond automatically to events in the channels. And more than that, anybody can program it to do those things.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah, of course.
you know what we have to hard code uh, is simply the overall structure. Do we want, we want to make a key value store of key value out stores so that we have a category and of the responses, or do we just want to start simply with a key value store that we put everything into flat? Probably that may be all right. And then we have a pattern that they type into the channel that says, for this pattern, output this. Okay, and we can actually use things that found in the pattern in the response.
Okay.
So it would be just a very simple implementation would be interesting and fun. And then we can think about how we can make it more intelligent.
Okay.
We might want to make it so that when somebody adds something, it doesn't delete what was there, but now it chooses the alternatives non-deterministically, so that if you put if I added something to the key value store for high, and you added something for high, they would both be there.
Yeah.
And we might want to keep additional information in it, like who added it.
Sure.
Then you could put that in the pattern. What's Gary's response to this?
Well, I think that would be nice. That would be better if we are gonna have different people put in patterns, and then it would be nice to add names to it.
Yeah. So we would have a we would be actually making an association. Associations are exceedingly powerful. Question is, how would we extend this to be an association? An association store. Association it has three values. And let's see. what do we call them? Uh, well, that was certainly the wrong way to put it. Association.
Or are you thinking of associative arrays?
What is this associative? It's supposed to be.
Yeah, associative arrays data structure. Yeah, now look at number three down there, associative array tree. I'm not sure that we want the tree data structure, but I don't guess it would hurt. What about an associative graph data structure?
Yep, sounds most interesting. um,
Yeah, I think in graph theory is going to be probably a little bit over our head.
yeah, well, it shouldn't be.
I know, but we really want the computer science take on associative arrays rather than the mathematical take on it. Now this is data structures, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a list.
Oh yeah, I see the three numbers now that you're talking about.
So each graph is composed of an array. And what that translates to here is that um, uh, we make an associative store here.
There's an error. Pattern not found.
Oh yeah, I was looking. I hit N for the next KV, and then I would hit period to repeat the edit. So Change KV to Lasos. But there was only those occurrences.
Yeah.
So there's no next occurrence. There's an error there. It's space. Doesn't get rid of it. Okay, so in this case, in our store, we want this to match an array, a list. A list of key value Now, how do we make it any number of key values in the list? Comma, dot, dot, dot. Whoops. What'd I do? Undo. 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 Insert comma, dot, dot, dot. And
Hello, Jim.
hi.
Yeah. If I get, I think we're trying to build an associative array here.
Right. I was following the model. What was it? This is
Okay.
looking at each par as a graph.
Okay.
This is just a list of nodes here.
Yeah, I get.
So we would associate and I wish I could remember the terminology that we use for tuple associations or
Yeah.
triples.
Yeah. I think associative arrays are also similar to dictionary data structures in some programming languages. Am I right? And I think they work with key value pairs.
Could be. I mean, this could be a silly exercise. What I'm trying to do is, what I want to do is I want to have something like like I'll just put in here kind. what you want to do is you want to match on the kind and the key,
Okay.
or the kind on the value, or the key and the value.
Um,
And these are not good names for them. And I think we might need different cases here between which two things we're using to look up the other.
I think we should use the key to look up the value.
Well, then we can't. How do we find out the key for a value?
Yeah. So from my understanding of associative arrays, so before creating a new item in the array, you provide a key and the value. So it's more like a dictionary. So if you provide the key, say Jim, and the value is white cover, each time you look up Jim,
Yeah.
it
The
pulls
way
up.
we used to use the term associative memory, associative array, is that you could look up the key or the value, and there was actually
Okay.
three parts in relational memory. That's what I was looking for. Relational memory.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't find the right thing. But it is interesting to consider. Um, 5C space. Rel store. Okay, I'm going to write this as rel store row, not rel story. And I'm going to call an ebang, which means I'm going to start editing from scratch on eStore.row. And now we can look at the issue of what if we want to give it a value rather than a key. So we want to get, do we have a lookup? We probably already have a lookup. I think we did. I don't remember going over it. Okay, we have a put. We have a patch. And this what does the patch do again? Patch looks up the key, matching anything, and the rest of the par in parallel. And it gets Oh, it does a get of that, and then it it writes key value in with the rest if it matches, and if it doesn't match, it gets an error. So this is just a write that fails if key doesn't exist. We have get, we have the del, which we went over, and we have the exist, which checks to see if the key exists.
Mhm.
And then we have the query, which is not done. Give it a query. Okay, well, what we want to do is we want to sort of do it like the get. But we want to look up the key instead of looking up the value. So we go to the end, capital G. This is the I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna go right in here. And for VI to do indenting here, I'm going to do a colon SE for set AI auto indent. It's artificially intelligent about tabs or tabbing. You see it follows the tabs now. So this, so we want to put another contract in parallel here. Oh, and I didn't want auto indent now. Damn. How do I turn off auto indent? Colon set auto indent equals 0. Colon set auto indent equals
False.
false. Nope. Or do I have to write out false?
Not sure.
I used to be such a whiz with VI, but I forgot everything.
I'll do a search.
Well, it's just going to screw up. What can I say? Auto indent equals no. Did I try that?
I think you just write set no auto indent.
Okay, I'm just going to paste it in here. And what it's going to do is it's going to space it way out.
Whoa!
On second thought, I'm just going to quit. Go and quit bang.
To turn auto indent off, you set paste.
What?
SET space PASTE.
Really?
Set, Yeah, set paste to turn
Okay.
on.
Okay, because that's what we wanted to do, is we wanted to paste. We wanted to paste something in.
You set it in the paste mode to turn auto indent off.
Right, that makes sense, because you want to set auto indent off when you're going to paste in code.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't want to edit rel store. I wanted to edit key value store.
Everybody mute. Somebody's got.
Who's ringing? Am I ringing? Yeah, it's ringing in my house. Oh,
Are you going somewhere tonight?
yes, I'm going somewhere. Yeah, it's really cool.
Don't have me keep reading this thing.
So I open, and now I paste in paste mode, and it almost got it right except for the first line. Everything's lined up properly. But you see, if I had been here in auto indent mode and then set paste, I would have been in the right place. And it would have pasted perfectly. Okay, so we're changing this get to, what should we call it, lookup? And instead of a key here, we're going to put a value here. Okay, we want, oops. Lookup. Okay, so this is, we do this store here. Now we're going to match against store, but in this case, we're gonna make the key a free variable, and we're gonna bind the value to the argument. Okay, and we're going to write to the continuation the key. And otherwise, we'll give an error. The value doesn't exist. And we'll write this. And we'll eval it, see if we get any errors. And then I am going to have to go because we got a really exciting meeting tonight in Tampa, setting up a Tampa validator pool and maybe a Tampa Bay RChain cooperative.
Oh, cool.
We got a lot of people in Tampa. And percent is the current file. Equal key on line 81 is unbound.
Oh, you need an asterisk on it. Unbound. Wait. No, that's not what I thought.
Yeah, we got a problem here. This should be an unbound
key.
Key here. And what about value here? Do we need to? Value should be in scope, right? Should be all right. We'll see what it says. Oh, another way of repeating the last command is just bang, bang. Value key is used in a process context.
Yeah, that's where you need an asterisk.
Right.
Next line. You put the process on the name, but you put the process on the name. Yeah. You need it on the key.
It said line 81 though.
Oh. Where are you?
What is key here? What is key? For key is it should be unbound variable. Or it's a process. I have to make it. $81.26. Key is used in a process context. So if I want to make it a process, I got to do an @ sign. Doesn't quite make sense to me.
Oh yeah, you match on processes.
That's not very helpful. Okay, folks, I got to go. But I think this is a great exercise and a useful function. I mean, we make it associative. It becomes content addressable.
You mean relational?
Relation.
Okay.
So, Jim, please,
Yeah,
could you
content
post
addressable too.
the link to the GitHub repo on the chat so I could visit it?
I couldn't hear you too well, AB. Sorry.
I said, could you post the link to the GitHub repo on the chat so I could look at it?
Yeah, I put it I put it in the log.
Okay.
Okay, and if you can add to the log, that would be great. I mean, if we look at who's been involved, we can see most people haven't been contributing to the log. Contributing to the log will be one of the operational things that we'll pay for in the CoLab. And if you look, we have meetings where we have a lot of people attend and we have no notes at all. Oh, okay. We do have some notes here. Usually Adi adds them. But, before the work studies, just create a new day, add some topics, add the topics you want to discuss. Now, tomorrow at 3, we're New York time, we're reviewing the RChain API. and hopefully learn how we can make a GraphQL interface to the RChain API.
Yeah.
And then at 4 p.m. is our rholang, which we might continue this. It would be great if we could submit an update to the GitHub repository to add the lookup function, if we can make it work.
All right, Jim.
Later, guys.
See
Bye-bye.
ya. Bye.
You can hang out if you want. I have to go.